Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Aida Haran Mariba, a fourth-year student of Cebu Technological University San Francisco campus with a course Bachelor of Industrial Technology, major in Computer Technology. So for today's vlog is assembling and disassembling a system unit. So this video is our week 4 project for on-the-job training, and in this video I'll be showing you what are the appropriate way in disassembling and assembling a system unit. A typical desktop computer consists of a computer system unit, a keyboard, a mouse, and a monitor. The computer system unit is the enclosure for all the other main interior components of a computer. It is called the computer case, and cases are typically made of steel or aluminum, but plastic can also be used. A system unit has a major components. These are the motherboard, connectors, power supply, and fan, hard disk drive, optical drive, and expansion slots. So tools needed are the Phillips head screwdriver, anti-static wrist strap if you have any, anti-static mat, or aluminum fuel or container. Since we already know the do's and don'ts, so let's start the disassembling system unit. Unplug the power cord and disconnect all the cables. Second is remove the screws of the side cover. And then third is slide the case cover gently. And make sure to put case cover at the side of the table and don't put it anywhere. We need to disconnect all the cables that are connected from power supply so that we can get the power supply out of the system unit. Remove the SATA from disk drives, ODD and HDD, and motherboard. Disconnect the remaining cables that are connected from the motherboard. Since we're done disconnecting all the cables, next is we're going to remove the main component parts of a system. Make sure to put all the screws in the container so that you can avoid misplacing it. So now we can remove the power supply from the case. Gently remove the power supply and place it into the anti-static fuel. Remove the ROM from the memory slot by opening the white latches on both ends of the socket. Do not touch the gold pins and always hold the both sides. So next is unscrew to remove the hard disk drive or HDD from the case. And then move the HDD backward. Hold the HDD by not touching the PCB connectors or printed circuit board assembly. After removing the HDD, and now we're going also to remove the ODD, which is the optical disk drive. Unscrew all the screw to remove it. Move the optical disk drive forward outside the case. Let's now move on to the motherboard and then remove the heatsink or CPU fan from the motherboard. So after removing the CPU fan, now we're going to remove the motherboard from the case. Unscrew the screw so that you can remove it. There are 4 screws in the motherboard. The motherboard is the main circuit board of a computer. It contains all the circuits and components that run the computer. Unlock the socket of a central processing unit to remove the CPU. And then carefully lift the processor from the socket and make sure to not touch the gold pin. So the CPU is the main brain or heart of a computer system. It performs all the instructions and calculations that are needed and manage flow of information through a computer. Finally, lock the socket of the processor. back the motherboard into or inside the computer case, and then make sure to arrange inside by inserting each part to its designated holes from behind. Right next is screw the motherboard into the case. Next is align the RAM to its socket. Make sure to not touch the gold pins. Push down evenly with the thumb until the white latches raise to the closed position. Next is the CPU fan. Place the heatsink or CPU fan on the top of the processor and pin it to the motherboard. Next is connect the SATA to the optical disk drive and hard disk drive to its end to the motherboard. Connect the front panel cables to the motherboard. Make sure to put the right cables or insert the right cable. Then connect the system fan to the cable which is connected to the power supply. And last is screw the side cover of the system unit. So we are about to done in assembling the computer, and next is we're going to check if it is functional, but before that we're going to plug first the power cord and all the other cables to the system unit. Fortunately, it is functional, so the assembling and disassembling of the system unit is successfully done.